Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I've got another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on, a bit explain what's going on, and talk about things that I think that are being done right and are done wrong. So this is a bit of an older video, I guess you could say. I've seen this one before, but due to scheduling and whatnot, wasn't able to do a review of it when it came out. Kind of forgot about it, and then I came across it again and said, oh, I wanted to do a video on that, a breakdown on it. So this was police responding to a burglary alarm at a restaurant, and officers get there. One officer is walking around to the back of the building, spots a person. That person pulls a gun. Officer shoots at him, misses, and then come to find out it was the owner of the business there. So here's a news article that comes from 5 NBC DFW. Fort Worth police released Monday. Released Monday. Fort Worth police released body camera footage from an attempted burglary where officers mistakenly shot at the owner of a business. On March 12, 2025, Fort Worth police responded to a call to investigate a commercial burglar alarm at approximately 3:50 a.m. When police arrived at the restaurant in the 1100 block of Terminal Road, they saw a man holding a gun at the back of the business. When they arrived, they walked around the perimeter looking for any signs of intruders or forced entry. While checking the back of the business, they saw a man holding a gun pointed in their direction. They gave commands for him to show his hands, but he did not drop the gun. According to police, fearing for their safety, one officer fired their weapon, but they missed. And the guy complied with the commands to drop the gun, and they took him into custody. Then they later learned that he's the business owner. During the investigation, detectives learned that the restaurant and storage area in the back of the property were broken into by an unknown suspect. No injuries were reported and no arrests have been made. The major case unit is the lead investigation continues searching for the suspect or suspects who broke into the property. Per department policy, both Fort Worth officers were placed on standard significant event leave following the shooting, and the owner of the business declined to comment after the incident. All right, so that is the news release. I wish there would have been, or not the news release, but at least the news coverage on the incident. I wish there would have been some more detailed information, such as the times involved. So I'll get to that when I do the video. So let's jump out of this and go into the video. All right, here we go.
Yo, show me your hands. Stop! Show me your gun down! Drop the gun!
I'm the owner! I'm the owner!
Stop! Show me your gun down! Drop the gun!
I'm the owner! I'm the owner! I'm the owner!
Alright, come on with your hands up!
Yes, sir. Don't scare me, cop.
Get over here!
Come here with your hands up right now!
Yeah. Walk!
I'm the owner!
Keep walking!
Trophy alert, give me
Drop it! Drop the phone!
Yes,
Get
sir.
your hands
Put the
up!
fucking phone down right now!
This is my wife. Wrong.
Get your hands up!
Yes, ma'am.
Walk backwards towards me! Walk backwards towards me! Keep walking!
Yes, ma'am.
Keep walking! Keep walking! Go to your knees!
All right, so So what I was talking about earlier is I wish that they would have included some information as far as the time frames involved. That's interesting. So a burglar alarm goes off, and within a certain amount of time, if you don't obviously turn off the alarm, it sends a signal to the alarm company. The alarm company will call whoever is listed on the database as the key holder or emergency contact, whatever. Try to make contact with them to ascertain whether or not this is a false alarm. If no contact is made, then the alarm company will make a phone call to local police and say, hey, there is a burglary alarm going off. No contact made with emergency contact or key holder, whatever they call them. And then the police will dispatch people to go to the call. Well, at some point, it seems apparent that the owner has ascertained that something has gone on, at least to me. So there's not a whole lot of information here, but it looks like to me that the owner has figured out that something has gone on, and he has gone to his place of business and he has armed himself. So did the alarm company actually finally make contact with the key holder or the emergency contact, whatever? And if so, why the hell didn't they contact the police and say, hey, the key holder is en route or key holder is on scene? Or did the owner somehow trip the alarm and he just, for whatever reason, walks around with a gun in his hand like that? I don't know. I don't think that was the case. I think it's somehow he figured out something was going on in his business and he's there checking the place out. That's why he is armed. Now, backing up. Within minutes of the alarm going off and the alarm company not making any contact with anyone and then calling the police, that happens pretty quickly, right? Like no more than 10 minutes. Like it should be less than 10 minutes that by the time the alarm is activated, nothing's done to shut it off, no one has called, whatever, or no one's talked to anyone, the police should be notified at some point. The police are already out driving around. They're already out doing stuff. So how did the police get this call and then respond to this location and beat the owner there? Could the owner live right down the road? Potentially, yes. Could there be someone who lives nearby, called the owner to tell him that, hey, your alarm's going off? He had a different phone number when he set the alarm company up and got a new phone number and just forgot to update it because he's never had any alarm issues before and they can't make any contact with him? Don't know. Or did the police get the call, but they did not have anyone available to respond to it immediately? It got delayed, and then 30 minutes to an hour later, officers are now showing up on scene, and the guy has already figured out that obviously something's going on. I don't know. I wish there was some more clarification on that aspect right there, because it's just I don't know, odd. It sticks out to me that they respond to this burglary call. They get there. They come across the owner, who is obviously prepared. Something's awry. Something's gone on. He's armed himself. So it just makes me think about how that time frame played out. Now, these officers responding to this call, go into a burglary alarm is a known to high risk kind of call, right? People are potentially breaking into a business, and granted, a lot of these things are false alarms. There are so many false alarms that many cities have enacted ordinances to deal with false alarms, and they will actually send a bill or a fine to a business who has too many false alarms within a year. So false alarms are very common. However, they should all be treated the same, and you should be treating them obviously as though someone has broken into this place, and that it is now a high risk scenario that requires the deployment of a long gun. If you're going into a scenario where you could be involved in a gunfight, you want to bring a long gun, and you want to bring your friends with long guns. Going at this stuff with a pistol only, bad idea. I would say that's probably what has kept the owner alive. The fact that this officer failed to get a rifle out, but the officer still failed to get a rifle out. Now, the officer here would have been justified in using deadly physical force against this guy. And at the same time, I feel like this guy here would have been justified in immediately bringing his gun up like that. You know, he has come to his place of business, has found that it has been burglarized, and then a figure shows up around the corner, probably startling him, probably scaring the crap out of him, right? Which is probably why they have not charged him.
Yo, show me your hands. Stop! Show me your gun down!
So, back it up.
Yo, show me your hands. Stop! Show me your gun down! Drop the gun!
I'm the owner.
Yo, show me your hands. Stop! Show me your gun! Yo, show me your hands. Stop!
Yo, stop. Show me your hands. Most reasonable people would say that's the police. However, an attorney in a courtroom would bring up the fact that they did not identify themselves as police, and I do find that to be an important aspect. They should be announcing right away, police. That way, if force is having to be used, they've checked that box, so to speak. Now, even with that being said, I mean, this was very quick. Real quick, right? This dude comes around the corner, sees people. It's a startle reflex. I can understand why he instinctively drew like that. I can understand it. I don't agree with him, but I can understand it. He almost got himself killed, and he almost killed a police officer. And that probably would have resulted in him going away for a while. So how could this have been alleviated, right? Like, how could this have been avoided? So again, going back to what I said earlier, there just wasn't a whole lot of information provided. If this owner had found out that his place had been burglarized and was checking it out, he should have called the police to say, hey, I am going to my business. It's been burglarized. I am going to go check it out. And then dispatch would be asking, what he's driving, his description, and they would relay that to the responding officer so they know who to make contact with and know who is friendly force, so to speak. If he has or has an alarm system installed, then he should know that the police are going to be responding to an alarm, and that police here in America carry guns, and so it may not be a wise idea for him to be walking around with a gun in his hand, even though this is America and we have the Second Amendment that is almost unlike any other place in the world. But still, common sense, like, just because you can, it is perfectly 100% legal to walk around with a grenade launcher, with a freaking bazooka here in America. Perfectly legal. You can get a hand grenade and wear it as a necklace. It is legal to do that. It's paperwork you got to jump through, but you're perfectly legally capable of walking around wearing a hand grenade as a necklace, having a belt-fed machine gun across your back, and holding a bazooka. But just because you can doesn't mean that you should, especially going to a business that has been burglarized or a burglary alarm's going off and you have not made any contact with police. You're setting yourself up for some failure there. So aside from that issue, not calling police and letting them know that you're coming there, that there's been an alarm set off, blah, 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 blah. It's also not a great idea to go into this kind of scenario by yourself anyway. So obviously he felt that there was enough concern for his safety to bring a gun and have it in his hand. If you're by yourself, solo CQB is hard. Like, it is, the odds are not in your favor. The only time I would really advocate solo CQB is something like in a targeted violence kind of scenario, or active shooter kind of scenario. Because at least with the bad guy shooting, you kind of have an idea where they're at, and that they're obviously focused on something else and not exactly on you. So you can go about it one man, right? Like, you can start moving through the structure going towards where it's at. And even when the gunfire stops, you can slow it down a bit and keep going on your own. In a burglary kind of scenario in a large building, I don't think it's a great idea to go at that by yourself. I think you're opening yourself up to a nightmare. You can very easily be overwhelmed and overtaken. It's just, the juice is just not, it's not worth the squeeze, I don't think. Your house, a little bit of a different story. But for commercial property like this, no, like, wait till there are uniformed officers to arrive, who are going to arrive in numbers, and there'll be multiple of them, and or they may even have a dog. Send a dog in, right? That risk mitigation, like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to risk your life for some bags of chicken in your restaurant. It just, I get it, it's your stuff. You want to hold the bad guys accountable, but if you run this business and this is how you put food on your family's dinner table, if you're dead, well, how are you still going to put food on the dinner table if you're dead? You're not. Some other dude is. So don't do this. Don't go alone at this by yourself just for your your place of business. You're putting too much risk in it. Call police, have the police come deal with it. That's what they're trained to do. There's going to be, multiple of them to be able to go in there and have that advantage. They got a dog. Hell, they might even have a drone to be able to send in there, and no lives are at risk at that point. Now, like I said, different scenarios, solo CQB, yeah, some things you need to go at it. But this, nope. So the officer missing. So I alluded earlier that he should have brought a rifle out. If he had had a rifle, most definitely I think he could have made a good shot on target here. And the reason why he missed is because he is using a pistol. Pistols suck in comparison to rifles, not just for accuracy, but also the terminal ballistics of it as well. But when it comes to accuracy, a pistol has a very short barrel, and the minimalist amount of movement when pulling the trigger on that handgun can cause that handgun to move so much that you are throwing your shot way off. With a rifle, you have multiple points of contact on that rifle to stabilize it, whereas with a pistol you only have your dominant hand to hold it, and then kind of your non-dominant hand to sort of wrap around some parts that aren't covered. So really you only get like 1.5 points of contact with a pistol. With a rifle you get for sure 3 points of contact on there. And it's a longer barrel, and so you're going to be way more accurate with a rifle. And then, of course, the terminal ballistics are night and day. So, had this officer been armed with a rifle, I think it is possible that he would have been more likely to make a hit on target. Well, so let's change the scenario. Let's say this is the bad guy. Let's say this dude was the one burglarizing. I can't talk. Burglarizing, stealing. Let's say that was the stealing shit from here. That first shot that officer made, it missed. Did not hit this dude at all. Luckily, this dude, I think probably at the very beginning of this, thought, "Oh crap, bad guy," and then he saw enough imagery and processed enough sound to know, oh, it's the police. But what if he was the bad guy? That first shot missed. He gets a vote too. Bad guys get a vote. They get a turn. And so, what would his roll of the dice be? Would he get a hit? Don't know. That's why your first hit, your first shot needs to make a difference. It needs to count. So when you go into high risk stuff like this, this is why a rifle is so important. Now, obviously, knowing now, he's not a bad guy, so kind of glad that the officer didn't bring a rifle, because this guy would have died, and it would have been a good guy dying. A stupid good guy, but still a good guy nonetheless dying. So, yeah, not much else to say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.